betrayal silences your voice, who speaks for you? There are nights when the silence weighs more than the entire day. In the darkness of the bedroom, when the body finally lies down, the soul REM, it is the exhaustion of not having been heard when you most needed to be understood. The silent pain of someone who has been betrayed by someone close is not only the loss of the relationship, it is the rupture of trust in oneself. Because when someone breaks your trust, something inside you also breaks. You begin to revisit conversations, signals, small details. The body stiffens. The stomach tightens. The mind asks over and over again, how did I not see it sooner? And that question, which seems like a search for understanding, sometimes turns into an accusation against yourself. You do not suffer only because of what they did. You suffer because of what you began to believe about yourself. The weight of rejection in adulthood is even more silent when you have already built a history, when you have already offered loyalty, time, dedication, and still are discarded as if you were replaceable. Something very deep is touched. It is not just about losing someone. It is about feeling that your giving had no value. It is about looking at your own path and, for a moment, doubting your own importance. And that doubt hurts. It hurts in your chest. It hurts in the shortness of your breath. It hurts in the way you begin to withdraw. The sense of injustice awakens the impulse to defend yourself, to explain, to prove, to confront. You rehearse speeches in your mind. You imagine dialogues that never happened. You want to clear your name, restore the truth, reorganize the narrative. But when night comes, when the lights go out and no one else is watching, what remains is not the need to win an argument. What remains is the wound of having been misunderstood, the wound of having been replaced, the wound of having been left behind. It is in that vulnerable place that the ancient declaration of Psalm 54 echoes, "Surely God is my helper. The Lord is the one who sustains my life." These words are not an escape from reality. They do not deny the pain. They do not cancel what happened. They reposition the heart. They say with serene firmness that there is a deeper support than people's opinions, that there is an invisible help when all visible supports fail. Maybe today you are exhausted from defending yourself, exhausted from trying to explain what seemed obvious, exhausted from carrying a stain that someone placed on you. When someone accuses us unjustly, it is as if they place a stain on our clothing. We can spend the entire night scrubbing, trying to clean it with our own hands, trying to convince everyone that that stain does not belong to us, or we can trust that there is a right water at the right time, capable of cleaning what our hands cannot remove. And trusting is not weakness. Trusting is recognizing limits. Trusting is choosing not to destroy yourself, trying to prove something to someone who has already decided not to listen. Now, notice your breathing. Maybe it is short. Maybe it feels heavy. Breathe in slowly through your nose, feeling the air fill your chest. Hold it for a moment and release it slowly, as if you were letting go of the weight you do not need to carry alone tonight. Your body needs to understand that it is no longer in battle. Your mind needs to learn that it does not have to solve everything before going to sleep. You do not have to solve everything today. You do not have to prove everything today. You do not have to answer everything today. Because when betrayal silences your voice before people, there is still someone who sees. When rejection tries to redefine your worth, there is still a presence that sustains your identity. And perhaps the most important question tonight is not, how do I defend myself, but in whom do I rest when I cannot defend myself? Stay here for a moment. Let that question echo gently within you. There is a defense that is not born from confrontation. There is a protection that does not depend on your effort. And tonight, you can begin to experience what it means not to fight alone, the invisible wound of betrayal, when pain turns into self-sabotage. After trust is broken, something very subtle begins to happen inside you. At first, it is just an innocent question. How did I not see it sooner? But as the days go by, that question can take on a different tone. It stops being curiosity and becomes judgment. You begin to distrust your own discernment. You begin to doubt your ability to choose, to trust, to evaluate. And that silent doubt is a second wound, sometimes deeper than the first. Neuroscience explains something that may bring relief to your heart. When trust is broken, the brain activates regions associated with physical pain. That is why your chest tightens. That is why sleep disappears. That is why your body remains in a state of alert, as if something were still about to happen. It is not exaggeration. It is not drama. Your nervous system is trying to process a rupture it did not expect. The body reacts because the connection was real. The expectation was real. The surrender was real. But there is a counterintuitive revelation that needs to be spoken with firmness and compassion. The greatest consequence of betrayal is not what the other person did. It is what you begin to believe about yourself. If you start believing that you are too naive, that you will never know how to choose, that you will always be deceived, then the pain infiltrates your identity, and when identity is hit, everything around you feels unstable. Notice how this happens in an almost imperceptible way. You begin to avoid new connections. You begin to distrust simple gestures. You begin to interpret silence as threat, not because you are weak, but because your brain is trying to prevent another wound. It thinks that if it stays constantly alert, you will be protected. But that constant state of alert steals your peace, steals your lightness, steals your spontaneity. Betrayal is like an earthquake. The shaking is intense, but temporary. The real problem is the cracks left in the structure. Untreated cracks can compromise the entire building, but cracks that are cared for can strengthen the construction. You do not need to pretend that nothing happened. You need to look at the fractures with honesty and decide that they will not define who you are. There is a simple but profound practice that can begin to reorganize your interior even tonight. Take a piece of paper, or just do it mentally, and write 3 future decisions that will not be based on fear, but on clear values, not based on distrust, but on awareness. Maybe it is something like, I choose relationships where there is mutual respect, or I choose to listen to my intuition without ignoring signs of disrespect, or even, I choose to maintain my integrity even when others fail me. These decisions are seeds, small, silent, but powerful. And here is something that may free you from unnecessary guilt. Trusting was never a mistake. Trusting is an expression of who you are. If someone broke that trust, that speaks about their character, not about your capacity to love. Do not turn your light into permanent suspicion. Do not turn your sensitivity into rigidity. Do not turn your kindness into self-accusation. Return for a moment to Psalm 54. David does not deny that he was betrayed. He does not pretend there was no persecution, but he declares, "The Lord is the one who sustains my life." Notice the difference. He does not say, "I sustain my own reputation." He does not say, "I need to prove to everyone who I am." He says there is a greater support. And when you begin to internalize that truth, something shifts in your nervous system. Your breathing slows down. Your shoulders relax. Your mind understands that it is not alone. Maybe you still feel anger. Maybe you still feel sadness. Maybe you still feel shame for having trusted. All of that is human. All of that is understandable. But do not allow the pain to turn into self-sabotage. Do not allow someone else's mistake to become a sentence against you. You can learn without condemning yourself. You can mature without hardening. You can grow without closing yourself off. Tonight, as your body prepares to rest, allow a new belief to begin to gently form within you. I may have been betrayed, but I am not condemned to live suspicious of everything. I may have been rejected, but I am not disposable. I may have been misunderstood, but I do not need to define myself by that. Breathe once more, slowly and deeply. Feel the air enter. Feel the air leave. Your body is learning that it does not need to fight all the time. Your mind is learning that it can let go a little, and your soul is being reminded that there is a defense that does not depend on your constant vigilance. You are not the betrayal you suffered. You are greater than the story they told about you, and there is a presence sustaining you, even when everything seems to have collapsed. Be careful with the desire for immediate justice. There is a part of you that wants to get up right now and tell everything. It wants to explain every detail. It wants to send that long message. It wants to gather evidence. It wants everyone to know your side of the story. And that reaction is understandable. When we are unjustly hurt, the natural impulse is to restore the truth. It is almost instinctive. The heart says, "I need to defend myself." But there is an invisible mistake that can quietly consume your energy. Spending your strength trying to clear your image in front of someone who has already decided not to listen. When someone closes their heart to the truth, it is not the clarity of your arguments that will open it. And the more you insist, the more you wear yourself down, the more exhausted you become, the more you relive the scene that already wounded you. The mind shifts into battle mode. The body shifts into alert mode, and rest disappears. In Psalm 54, David was being unjustly pursued. He had reasons to justify himself. He had reasons to argue, but instead of negotiating his reputation, he declares who sustains him. He does not make his own defense the center of his prayer. He makes God his helper. That is profound. That is liberating, because it shifts the focus from anxious self-preservation to conscious trust. Maybe tonight, you need to do something simple and powerful. Before going to sleep, name out loud what is outside your control. Say it gently, almost like a whisper. I do not control what people think about me. Pause. Feel the weight of that sentence. Then say, I do not control the narratives they created. Pause again, and then complete it. I only control my integrity. When you verbalize this, your brain begins to reorganize its priorities. It understands that not everything needs to be solved right now. Trying to hold water in your hands only increases the waste. The tighter you squeeze, the more it slips through. There are battles that are not won through confrontation, but through inner positioning. There are injustices that are not resolved with speeches, but with time and truth naturally rising to the surface. And while that does not happen yet, your peace does not need to be held hostage. The silent factor that sabotages your peace, reliving the scene before sleep. When the room grows dark and the world goes quiet, the mind begins to replay what happened. The conversation, the message, the look, the tone of voice. You change your lines in your head. You respond differently. You imagine what you should have said. And every replay reignites the pain as if it were happening now. Neuroscience explains something important. The brain does not clearly distinguish a vivid memory from a present experience. If you relive the scene with emotional intensity, the body reacts as if it is happening again. The heart races, the breathing shortens, the muscles tighten, and sleep drifts away. Not because you are weak, but because your nervous system believes it is still under threat. This is where many people confuse prayer with repeating the story. Praying is not telling God over and over again what already happened. He already knows. Praying, in this moment, is interrupting the internal cycle. It is saying to your own heart, I do not need to watch this scene one more time. It is choosing to put the hammer down. Repetitive thoughts are like hammers hitting the same crack. Each strike does not fix the fracture. It only deepens it. You do not heal a wall by hitting it. You heal it by reinforcing its structure. Try something different tonight. Instead of reliving the conversation, slowly open Psalm 54. Read it sentence by sentence, without rushing. Between each verse, breathe deeply. Let the air come in slowly. Let the air go out even more slowly. Allow the words not only to be read, but to be felt in your body. When your mind tries to return to the scene, gently bring it back, without fighting yourself. Simply redirect it. You do not need to fight your thoughts. You only need to choose where to place your attention. Notice how, little by little, your inner rhythm can begin to slow down, not because the problem disappeared, but because you stepped out of confrontation mode and into trust mode. The body understands when the battle ends, and sleep begins to approach when the mind stops defending itself all the time. Maybe you still feel the urge to explain. Maybe you still want to be understood. That is human. But tonight, you can experience something new, resting without having won this argument, resting without having completely cleared your name, resting while trusting that truth does not need your exhaustion to exist. There is a defense that happens even in silence. There is a protection that does not depend on your constant vigilance. And when you allow the night to fulfill its role, you begin to realize that resting is also an act of faith. Myths about forgiveness that increase guilt. When someone deeply wounds us, a silent pressure almost always arises. You need to forgive. And without realizing it, that sentence begins to weigh on you. Because if you still feel pain, if you still feel anger, if you still feel sadness, you may begin to believe there is something spiritually wrong with you, as if maturity were the same thing as emotional numbness. One of the most common myths is thinking that forgiving means immediately reconciling, as if forgiveness required closeness, as if spirituality demanded forced coexistence. But forgiveness is an internal process. It is a reorganization of the heart, and reconciliation requires two people willing to embrace truth, responsibility, and respect. They are different movements. Another emotional mistake is trying to force a feeling that has not yet matured. You say you have forgiven, but your body is still tense. You claim you have moved on, but the memory still hurts. And then a new layer of guilt begins. I should be better by now. That self-demand only prolongs the wound. Healing does not happen through pressure. Healing happens through awareness, time, and care. There is something deeply liberating about understanding that God defends you without requiring you to pretend it did not hurt. He does not ask you to deny the pain to prove your faith. He does not demand that you smile while you are still processing the breaking of trust. True spirituality does not ignore human emotion. It embraces it. It transforms it gently. A concrete and mature application may be this: establishing clear boundaries while your heart reorganizes itself. A boundary is not revenge. A boundary is healthy protection. You can be in the process of forgiveness and at the same time decide that certain behaviors will no longer have access to your intimacy. That is not hardness. It is discernment. A wound closed on the outside but infected on the inside is not healing. It is appearance, and appearance has never sustained true peace. Better a slow and sincere process than a rushed and superficial spirituality. Maybe today you need to give yourself permission to say, I am still processing, and that does not diminish your faith. It humanizes your journey. Why rejection can redefine your identity if you allow it. Few pains cut as deeply as feeling disposable after years of dedication. When someone leaves your life, as if what was built carried no weight, something very sensitive is touched. You begin to question your own worth. You begin to ask silently, am I replaceable? What we rarely notice is that many identities are built around who accepts us. We are someone's partner, someone's friend, someone's support system, someone's chosen one. And when that person leaves, it feels as though part of our definition leaves with them. Rejection does not only remove someone from your life, it removes a role you once occupied. But there is a profound revelation hidden in this process. When rejection removes a role, it exposes who you are without that role. And that can be frightening, because now you must see yourself without the reflection of someone else's approval. You must rediscover your worth without applause. You must sustain your identity without constant validation. Maybe tonight you can practice something silent and restorative. Mentally list who you still are, even after the loss. You are still someone who feels deeply. You are still someone capable of loving. You are still someone who seeks truth. You are still someone with history, with values, with awareness. Rejection did not erase that. It only removed a setting. When a tree loses its leaves in winter, it appears smaller. It appears empty. It appears exposed. But in reality, its true structure becomes visible. The trunk, the branches, the authentic shape, and beneath the surface, the roots continue working in silence. Sometimes it is in the season of loss that your truest identity begins to strengthen. The temptation to harden your heart after betrayal or rejection, a silent promise emerges. Never again. Never trust like that again. Never give yourself like that again. Never allow someone such deep access again. And that promise feels like protection. It feels like strength. It feels like maturity. But often, it is simply pain transformed into rigidity. The mechanism is unconscious. The brain tries to avoid vulnerability because it associates openness with threat. So it builds armor. But armor protects and isolates. It prevents the blow from entering, but it also prevents the embrace from reaching you. God defends you without turning you into stone. He protects without erasing your capacity to love. He strengthens without hardening. There is a difference between discernment and coldness, between maturity and emotional shutdown. Perhaps a simple prayer can begin to soften that internal hardening. Lord, protect my heart without closing it. Teach me to trust with awareness, not with fear. Give me discernment without taking away my sensitivity. That prayer is alignment. It is a request for balance. It is a choice for true healing. Reinforced doors prevent invasions, but they also block the entrance of light. You do not need to live wide open, but you also do not need to live sealed shut. There is a healthy middle ground. There is a place where you can be protected and still remain human. And tonight, as the world slows down, you can begin to realize that your greatest strength is not in becoming unreachable. It is in remaining whole, in remaining sensitive with wisdom, in remaining open with boundaries. Pain does not have to define your final form. It can simply be a stage of your maturation. And maturing is not losing tenderness. It is learning to use it with awareness. A 3-step technique to surrender your defense to God before sleeping. There is something deeply restorative about ending the day with intention. Not simply lying down out of exhaustion, but lying down by choice, choosing not to take the battle to bed, choosing not to turn the pillow into a courtroom, choosing not to turn the middle of the night into a battlefield. And for that, you can practice 3 simple, conscious movements, deeply spiritual and also deeply human. Step 1, name the pain precisely, without dramatizing it, without minimizing it. Instead of saying, "It was horrible," or "It was nothing," say exactly what happened and how it affected you. I felt betrayed when I found out about that. I felt discarded when I was excluded. Naming it precisely calms the nervous system because the brain appreciates clarity. When you acknowledge the emotion honestly, without exaggeration, and without denial, you send an internal message: I am aware of what I feel, and awareness reduces chaos. Step 2, acknowledge the human limit. You do not control other people's narratives. As much as your mind wants to reorganize everything, you do not control what others think, say, or choose to believe. And accepting that is not passivity. It is spiritual maturity. It is saying, I did what I could with the resources I had. The rest is not in your hands. And trying to control what is beyond your reach only prolongs tension. Your body needs to know that it can rest from what does not depend on it. Step 3, declare Psalm 54 as an act of conscious trust, not as a magic formula, not as automatic repetition, but as an internal decision. Surely God is my helper. Say it slowly. Feel the weight and the lightness of those words at the same time. When you declare this truth, even if your emotions are still unsettled, you are training your heart to lean on something greater than people's opinions. The practical result may seem simple, but it is profound. Sleep becomes more possible because the body is no longer in battle mode. The brain understands that it does not need to stand guard all night. The muscles relax, the breathing deepens, and the soul begins to experience something it may not have felt in days: safety. Putting down your weapons before lying down allows the night to fulfill its restorative role. If you take the sword to bed, your body does not understand that the war is over. But when you symbolically hand your defense over to God, you communicate to your inner world. I am not alone. I do not need to monitor everything. I can rest. Signs that God is defending you, even in silence. Often, we expect a loud defense. We expect the truth to be proclaimed publicly. We expect people to acknowledge their mistake. We expect a dramatic reversal of the situation. But divine defense, most of the time, is quiet, subtle, progressive. One sign may be people distancing themselves before they can cause greater damage. At first it hurts. It feels like more rejection. But over time, you realize that their departure prevented an even deeper wound. Another sign is the truth surfacing without your direct intervention. Conversations happening without you, information emerging, perceptions adjusting. You did not need to fight. The truth found its way. There is also a subtle peace that begins to replace the impulse to confront. You notice that you no longer feel the same urgency to prove yourself. You no longer feel the same fire to argue, not because you became indifferent, but because something within you has been sustained. That peace is a sign, small but real. And often, opportunities arise outside the environment where the betrayal occurred. New connections, new paths, new spaces where your presence is valued. It is like roots growing in another direction when the previous soil becomes infertile. A tree does not insist on ground that does not nourish it. It adapts. It seeks a new source. It continues living. Sometimes God's defense is not preventing something from happening. It is redirecting you after it has happened. It is protecting your essence while circumstances change. It is preventing pain from becoming identity. Conclusion: sleeping under the defense of the one who sees everything by returning to Psalm 54. As a nightly shield, you are not escaping reality. You are preparing to face it restored. There is a profound difference between denying what happened and deciding that it will not have the final word over who you are. While you sleep, it is not abandonment. It is active trust. It is like a guard standing watch while the house rests. The house does not cease to exist because the lights go out. It simply enters into rest. And you too can enter into rest. Not because everything has been resolved, but because you chose not to resolve everything alone. God does not only answer external accusations, He heals internal accusations. And perhaps the harshest words you heard did not come from outside, but from within. Perhaps you called yourself naive, weak, insufficient. Perhaps you accused yourself for having trusted. Today, those accusations can be surrendered. They do not need to keep echoing. Now, allow this prayer to surround your night. Father, tonight I do not take to bed the courtroom of my mind. I hand over to you every word that wounded me and every silence that accused me. If I was betrayed, let that not turn me into someone suspicious of everything. If I was rejected, let that not erase my worth. Be my defender where I cannot stand, speak where I cannot respond, and guard my heart so that tomorrow I may wake up whole. In your hands, I rest. Remain for a few moments in silence. Feel the weight decreasing. Feel the breathing deepening. Feel the body understanding that it does not need to fight right now. The true benefit of the psalm is not only protection from external enemies. It is freedom from the constant need to justify yourself. It is rest for the mind that was exhausted. It is alignment for the heart that was fragmented. And before sleep comes, let one final question rest gently within you. If God is your defender, can you finally rest? Perhaps, as you listen to me now, there is still a part of you resistant to rest. A part that says, if I relax, I lose. If I don't stay alert, something worse might happen. That part is not weakness. It is survival. It is your system trying to protect you after being caught off guard by pain. But look carefully. Constant vigilance is not eternal protection. It is prolonged exhaustion. When you decide to surrender your defense to God, you are not becoming passive. You are becoming conscious. You are recognizing that there are battles that go beyond your human capacity for control. And that does not diminish you. It humanizes you. It aligns you with a strength greater than any accusation. Return once more to Psalm 54. There is a serene firmness there. There is no hysterical desperation. There is no emotional manipulation. There is trust. Trust not in people's behavior, but in God's character. And when you shift your security from unpredictable human reactions to divine constancy, something inside you begins to stabilize. Your body feels it. Notice your shoulders right now. They may have been tense for days. Allow them to drop a little. Notice your jaw. It may be tight without you realizing it. Gently release it. Notice your breathing. Do not force it. Just observe it. When the mind understands that it does not need to defend itself all the time, the body begins to come out of alert mode. You do not need to carry the weight of proving who you are. Who you are does not depend on the interpretation of the one who hurt you. Your essence was not altered by rejection. Your value was not diminished by betrayal. What was broken was a relationship, not your identity. Repeat that internally, slowly. What was broken was a relationship, not my identity. What was broken was an expectation, not my worth. What was broken was trust in someone, not my capacity to love. This repetition is not self-deception. It is emotional re-education. It is teaching your brain a new narrative. Because if you do not do this consciously, pain will write a narrative for you, and it usually writes stories that are far too harsh. Tonight, you can choose another story, not the story of the eternal victim, not the story of hardening, but the story of someone who was wounded and chose not to become deformed because of it. Someone who felt injustice and decided not to become unjust toward themselves. As you prepare to sleep, imagine there is a guard at the door of your mind, not an anxious, armed, nervous guard, but a serene, attentive, steady guard. He does not need you to stay awake. He is there. He stands watch while you rest. This image is not childish. It is symbolic. It is spiritual. It is therapeutic. Your brain responds to images of safety, and when it visualizes protection, it reduces its state of threat. Perhaps you have lost people. Perhaps you have lost bonds you believed were permanent. But do not lose your essence trying to defend yourself from the past. Do not lose your tenderness trying to prove strength. Do not lose your faith trying to control what has already happened. There is a presence taking care of you right now, even if you do not feel it intensely, even if your emotions are still confused, even if your questions still do not have answers. Divine defense does not always remove the pain. immediately, but it prevents the pain from destroying your internal structure. And if tomorrow there are still unresolved issues, you will face them with the restored energy of someone who rested. Today, your only responsibility is this: allow yourself to sleep under the defense of the one who sees everything, the one who knows the whole truth, the one who sustains your life when your strength decreases. Breathe once more, slowly and deeply. Let the air leave as if you were handing over an invisible weight. The night is not an enemy. The night is an invitation to trust, an invitation to release, an invitation to rest. You are not alone. Your pain has been seen. Your truth is known. And there is an active, silent, loving defense happening even now. Rest. Before sleep finally touches your eyes, allow one more layer of truth to settle within you. Betrayal may have shaken your trust. Rejection may have stirred your self-esteem. But none of these experiences has final authority over your identity. They were events. They are not your definition. There is a profound difference between being wounded and being defeated. You were wounded, yes, and acknowledging that is maturity. But defeated? No, because you are still here, still seeking peace, still opening your heart to healing. That alone is a sign of strength, a quiet strength, strength that does not need to shout in order to exist. Perhaps for a few days, you have felt that you needed to be constantly ready to explain yourself, always prepared to respond, always alert for any new accusation. That keeps the nervous system in constant vigilance. The body does not rest. The mind does not switch off. The heart does not slow down. And living like that is like trying to sleep with the lights on and the door half open, waiting for another impact. But now, imagine something different. Imagine closing the door, not out of fear, but out of trust. Imagine turning off the internal lights of excessive self-criticism. Imagine saying, with serenity, I did what I could. The rest does not belong to me. That sentence is not surrender. It is alignment. It is recognizing human limits and trusting in a justice that does not depend on your exhaustion. When you surrender to God the need to defend yourself, something deep happens within your emotional structure. You stop fighting internal ghosts. You stop mentally debating with absent people. You stop carrying arguments that will never be heard. And that surrender begins to create internal space, a space where peace can enter. Faith, in this moment, is not intense emotion. It is not spiritual euphoria. It is a quiet decision. It is saying, even if I cannot see it now, something greater is sustaining my story. And that decision reorganizes your energy. Your body begins to understand that it no longer needs to stay in attack position. Your mind begins to accept that it does not need to review every detail of the past. If you still feel tightness in your chest, place your hand over it. Feel the warmth of your own presence. Your body needs signals of safety, and you can offer that to yourself right now. Take a deep breath, slowly counting to 4. Hold it for a moment. Release it gently, as if you were letting go of the need to win a battle that is not yours. Repeat silently, with gentleness. I do not need to prove who I am. I do not need to chase recognition. I do not need to fight alone. Let those phrases move from thought into the body. Let them become sensation, not just idea. Perhaps tomorrow, some situations will still be unresolved. Perhaps some people will still not have acknowledged the truth. But tonight, you can choose something greater than external resolution. You can choose internal integrity. You can choose to rest with a clear conscience. You can choose to trust that time reveals what haste distorts. There is a presence that sees what was said and what was left unsaid, that knows the intention that was misinterpreted, that understands the silence you kept to avoid further conflict. That presence is not distant, not indifferent. It is sustaining you now. And while the world continues moving, while stories follow their course, you can allow your soul to find stillness. This is not giving up. It is trust. It is not escape. It is conscious surrender. May this night be different. May it not be a night of mental courtrooms, but of true rest. May it not be a night of imaginary arguments, but of deep breathing. May it not be a night of self-accusation, but of gentleness toward yourself. You were wounded, but you remain whole. You were rejected, but you remain valuable. You were misunderstood, but you remain fully known by God in every detail. Now, slowly, allow sleep to come. Allow the mind to slow down. Allow the body to sink into the mattress as someone who finally releases the weight they were carrying alone. God is your defender, and you can rest. And even after all of this, there may still be one final layer of pain that almost no one sees. That feeling of having been left behind, of having been replaced, of having been forgotten, as if your presence had made no difference. This is one of the most silent pains, because it touches the primitive fear of not being enough. And when that fear is activated, the heart tries to defend itself by creating harsh narratives. I wasn't good enough. I will always be replaced. Maybe I am easy to abandon, but notice calmly, those sentences are not facts. They are echoes of the wound, and echoes sound loud in the silence of the night. When rejection is not processed with awareness, it tries to redefine your identity. It tries to convince you that your worth depends on someone else staying. But your worth was never in the permanence of another human being. Your worth is in the essence God placed within you before any relationship began. Before anyone chose to stay or to leave, you were already whole. There is a deep spiritual truth that is also supported by emotional psychology. When someone rejects us, our brain interprets it as a threat to social survival. That is why it hurts so much. Belonging has always been, for the human being, a form of safety. But spiritual maturity is understanding that your greatest belonging is not in a group nor in a specific person. It is in God, and that belonging cannot be broken by human decisions. Perhaps you felt that you lost your place, but you never lost your place in the heart of God. Perhaps you felt that your voice was ignored, but your story is still being heard. Perhaps you felt that you were left behind, but you were not abandoned. Allow this truth to slowly settle within you. You were not abandoned. Even if people walked away, even if promises were broken, even if expectations collapsed, you were not abandoned. God's presence does not fluctuate according to human behavior. It does not withdraw because someone failed you. It does not diminish because your reputation was questioned. It remains constant, steady, quietly sustaining. And here is something important. Resting does not mean you agree with what happened. Resting means you trust that you do not need to resolve everything tonight. Resting means you accept that there are processes time will reveal. Resting means your soul chooses peace before explanation. While you sleep, your body regenerates. Your brain organizes memories. Your nervous system recalibrates. Sleep is not just physical rest, it is deep restoration. And when you sleep by placing your defense in God's hands, you allow that restoration to be spiritual as well. Imagine now that every accusing thought is like a loose leaf in the wind. You do not need to chase each one. Let the wind carry them away. Imagine that every painful memory is gently placed into God's hands, not as someone who gives up on their own story, but as someone who trusts they do not need to carry it alone. If any part of you still wants to justify itself, say internally with gentleness, "Not now." If your mind tries to return to the replay, respond calmly, "I choose to rest." That repetition creates a new neural pathway. It teaches your brain that the night is not a place of judgment, but of care. You may have been betrayed, but you have not lost your ability to love with wisdom. You may have been rejected, but you have not lost your dignity. You may have been misunderstood, but you have not lost your truth. God is your defender, not only before external accusations, but before the internal accusations you created against yourself. He defends your essence. He protects your identity. He sustains your life. And perhaps, deep down, what you most needed to hear tonight is this: you do not need to fight to be seen by God. You are already seen. You do not need to prove your innocence to Him. He knows your heart. You do not need to maintain constant vigilance. He watches while you rest. So allow your eyes to grow heavier. Allow your breathing to become slower. Allow your body to sink into the bed as someone who finally releases an invisible armor. It is not weakness to rest. It is trust. The night is not the end of your story. It is only an interval of care. And while you sleep, there is an active, loving, and silent defense happening. Not loud, not dramatic, but real. If God is your defender, you do not need to live in a state of war. If God is your sustainer, you do not need to justify yourself at every moment. If God is your helper, you are not alone. Now rest. Let peace be greater than the need for explanation. Let trust be greater than fear. Let presence be greater than pain. You are safe tonight. You are cared for tonight. You can sleep.